Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about 4 newer JavaScript methods. flatMap, reduceRight, and copyWithin. Now, JavaScript is kept evolving and they kept adding newer and newer methods. So you need to keep up with it. And these 4 methods are quite useful. So we're going to talk about how they work and their applications. And to run them, you would need the latest browser. If you can't run them, then you're probably using the older browser, so you need to upgrade it. So let's say if you have a variable called matrix, this is basically 2-dimensional array, and we can call it like this, 4, 5, and 6. And let's say I want to flatten it. When I say flatten it, means make it 1-dimensional. And the way I want it is it should have element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as a single 1-dimensional array. One way to do it is you write your own function. That was the case before. Now we can do much easily. So I can say const flat array equal to, I would take the matrix dot flat, and now to provide how deep I want to flatten this. Now this is only 1 level deep. So I can do this. And let's console log this. And I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it flattens it quite well. Now what if I have a very deeply nested matrix? Let's say something like this. Where I may not know how deep this is going. Obviously, I can go through it and figure out, but I don't want to do that. I just want to say, okay, I don't know how deep this is. So I'm just going to say, okay, dual to infinity, which means I don't know how deep it is. Just go through all level and flatten it for me. So now if I run this, I should get 1, 1, 1, and 1. So one of the application is if you are given a multi-dimensional matrix and if you want to add all the elements that are inside, you don't want to traverse through this. You want to flatten it, and then you get a single array like this, and then you can add it. So for adding, I can use reduce. So what I'll do is I can say let total equal to, first I'll flatten this array, then I can reduce it. So for reduce it, I will get accumulator and the value, and I can simply return a plus v, and the default value should be 0. And now if I console log the total and run this, I would get 4, which is correct. So this is a nice utility for this. And remember, it flattens it from left to right. So all the elements you would get is left to right. So if I do 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, then I would get the element 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. Okay, now let's look at flatMap. Imagine if I have something like this. I have numbers, which is say 1, 2, and 3. And I have another array called strings, which is nothing but 1, 2, and 3. So I can use a map function to combine this. So I can say const mapped equal to, I can use nums dot map, and I would get each value and its index, and I can return value. So what I want to do is I want the value and 1. So I want these pairs. So I can say val, and since I have this index which is the same index as this, I can say string and pass the index. So I get this value. Okay, so if I console log mapped, this is supposed to be strs. Now I get 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So I combine this two array. But the way I want it is like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 in a same array flatten. So I want to map it and also flatten it. So if I want to flatten it and also map, I would have to use flatMap. And this flattens the array, and also this maps the array and flattens at the same time. But remember, it only flattens by one level. So if I run this, I would get 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So it kind of combined these two arrays. Okay, let's look at the next array method called reduceRight. Let's say if I have something like this. It's a string array, and it says T, S, E, and B. Now if you read it from here, it says best. So if I want to convert into a string, I can use reducer. And so I can say let best equal to strings dot reduce. And as we know, reduce would have accumulator and a value. And I can do C plus V. And let's look at it. So if I do console log best, I would get tesp. That is because reduce always starts from left and moves to right. So it would take the T, add this to this, and then add this to this. So you accumulate that way. But what if you want to do from the other way around, right to left? So for that, we can use reduceRight. So I would say reduceRight. And now if I run this, it would say best. For example, if I have numbers here, because numbers don't care if you add left to right or right to left, it would not make any difference. So reduce and reduceRight would produce the same result. But here we are, for us, the order matters. So that is why reduceRight works in this case. So by default, this is actually reduce left. And if you say reduce right, then it does it this way. Okay, now let's look at the next array method called copyWithin. So let's say if I have a bunch of numbers, and let's start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Word copyWithin means you want to copy some of the elements within the array by writing the function. So if I say nums dot copy within, and the first argument would be index. So if I say 0, so this means which index I'm copying within, which means 0. And it's a mutation, it mutates the array, which means whatever a copy you are doing, it's happening within the nums. So num would change. It does return the resulting array, but it actually mutates it. So if I do console log nums and run this, there won't be any change. But what if I do this 1? It's almost like shifting by 1. So it takes the entire array. So this gets copied into here, this gets copied into here, and subsequently all the way to 8. So shift it from starting index 1. So as you can see the difference here. So 0th is 0 because we said it from starting from index 1. So starting from index 1, it copies, because we haven't provided what are we copying, so it's just starting from the 0th element. Similarly, if I say 2, that means it would start copying for the second, so from here. So let's do this. Now copying from the second, index 2, and all the way. So this is the starting index, and if you don't provide it, it copies from the 0th index, and it does all the way because you haven't provided how much you want to copy. Okay, now let's add a second parameter where you want to say, okay, I want to start copying from, let's say, index 3. I want to start from the 0, so this is my target index, and I want to start copying from index 3. Okay, so what is index 3 is this guy. So it will copy from 3 to all the way to 9, starting here. So as we can see, so it took 3 to 9, but I can also say, okay, how much I want to copy? 3 to 4. So only copy index 3. Okay, add 0. So whatever the index 3 is will be copied here. So index 3 is 3, it gets copied at 0. If I want 2 index copied, I would say 3 to 5. So it would do 3 and 4. And this would be 3, 4, then 2, 3, 4, like this. And you must be wondering, what is the application for this? So in a browser JavaScript, you probably, I'm sure there's an application for this in browser JavaScript, but mostly if you're using array buffers in a Node.js, then that's where you would use it. And if you know a specific application for this, please comment any of these methods, because that's very important, like which method to use when. If you like this kind of stuff, then you would really enjoy my Facebook group, where we actually talk about questions like this on a daily basis. So please join the group. I'll provide a link here. And I hope you learned something from this video. And if you did, please like, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and provide a nice comment. And you can translate this video for me. It's pretty easy. The information is in the description of the video. And thank you.